Hi guys, this is Daren with Madcap Toys. I've had some questions and a few comments here and there years ago at the store, and I wanted to deal with it. I kept getting asked, how do you repair some of those action figures, primarily G.I. Joes or Buck Rogers? Okay, well they're probably the simplest for most of us to repair. So basically you just take a little screwdriver here after you've took it apart and you open her up. Just like so. Okay. Now, you're going to see one of the things as a kid that I used to have to deal with, and I didn't know any better at the time, my brothers and I and some of our friends. Your little rubber bands would go bad, and they'd disintegrate. All right. So basically, all you have to do is replace that, and it all starts by having a screwdriver and unscrewing the back of, in this case, the draconian guard. Okay, if I can speak English. Right? Right, you just take a new rubber band, right, and loop it right in there. Okay, and I did purchase these rubber bands, these little bands, off of eBay. I usually buy them in sets of 100 and something to 500 and something, because I do a lot of action figure repairs. Okay, see how I took the rubber band, looped it around that little knot, bolt, and then I pulled this through his pants, right? Then some people have a problem with this, and this may take a few seconds for me. But you basically take then and you put that rubber band around, basically, I call it a widget in the back, because that's where the nut goes when you bolt him together. The problem a lot of people have is getting his arms, or these action figures' arms, to just stick right there while you're trying to work on him. Okay. And if you can get the arms, it's getting his head to lock in at the same time. So you may have a little bit of a battle with that, but see how I locked it in like that? Okay. Then you want to get your arms to basically lock in and have them basically folding out like, I call it the crucifixion look, because basically that's the best way to get him to stay in there. And I can't keep that head in there, guys, so it's what we're talking about. So you got to have a few patience for these guys.
So the neck has to be locked in, because there's
the neck has to be locked in there. Okay. And that arm joint has to be as best you can, and I may have to jimmy around with it a little bit. Okay, see how I've got it now? Mm-hmm. Okay, now he's snapped, right? So now all I got to do is take this screw, little screw here. I suggest you use something that's a little bit magnetized, because it'll help you out, especially if you're like me and you can't see anymore. Okay, you just screw that in there. You do not want it over tightened. Go till it's snug, and make sure that's in there. Like, I got to tighten him up just a little bit more, but don't over tighten. Just make it where it's snug, because if you do, you'll strip it and you're going to tear up your action figure, and you'll probably maybe have to get it to where you get another screw for this action figure or whatever, or you may have to honestly sort of scrap another action figure, because a lot of people strip these screws and then make sure I got him snug. There we go. Snug, but not too tight. Okay. I can get him stand up today.
Perfect.
There we go. But if you strip it, then you're sort of just, you're getting it to where you may not be able to get it out again next time the thing decides to break. And you might be able to work on this part here, but you won't be able to work on that. I've had guys that have showed on videos where they literally use blow torches to get those screws off. If you're going to use a blowtorch, I'd recommend you don't, because you're going to run it. Just work with the figure little by little. Let that thing come loose as time goes along. There's ways to do it, and sometimes you might want to use a little WD in there or something, but do not use a blowtorch on your action figures. Just work with them the best you can with what you got at hand, like these little screwdrivers. They're the best thing to use.
So Daren, when using the O-ring, that replacing the O-ring, it can also not only keep the pelvis of the action figure together, but will it also help with the arms as well as the neck?
It really doesn't help as much on these figures, because see, I'm going to have to work on it just a little bit more, because this is a thicker O-ring than was originally in here. So I'm going to work on him a little bit more. But the O-rings on like the G.I. Joes a lot of times and stuff that you use for that, a lot of times it'll help tighten up the legs a lot of times if they're loose and have a lot of play in them. But it's not really for that. And things like this here, that's more just to keep that pelvic together and keep the chest plates together to keep it to where they can be standing in place.
Okay. And so let me ask you this: so when did you find out that the O-rings could be replaceable on your own without going to the manufacturer? When did you figure that out?
Pretty much, I figured that out in the early '90s, and I had a terrible time because, like this was pre-eBay for most of us. So I just started getting
pre-internet too.
Yeah, yeah. I started playing around with it and trying to look for things like that, like. How can I fix these? Because I was throwing away tons of these guys, left and right,
Sad.
Literally, I probably threw away so many zaps and flashes and breakers. I mean, it's just totally unreal. Yeah, this here's a little bit thicker O-ring, but I'm not going to keep messing with it because I don't want to strip something after I preached about not stripping something. I want to see if I can get that in there. There we go. That's a little bit better, but he's going to have a little bit of play. But for the collector that just stands him around, it's going to be fine. Okay. But here's your problem, guys, and I know you've seen it. But this is basically they degrade from time, play, air. If any water got in there, they just rot. So, that's the thing. But anyway, guys, that's how you basically can repair, in this case, a Draconian Guard from the Buck Rogers series. And like most of you guys are good and true collectors, you'll know how to do it, and you'll know how to do it for G.I. Joes as well. But it's basically the same principle and idea.
Also, I wanted to mention, too, we're actually going to put a link in the description below of if you need to get some O-rings for your action figures. We'll put a link in the description below, and you'll be able to order them directly and have them shipped to you. Right.
And I would recommend, if you are a toy collector, especially for the Buck Rogers series or the Joe series. I'm sure there's other toys out there that use them too, but for those two series that I'm thinking of at this time, this is a great way to keep your action figures up and in good repair. And honestly, with you, like I said years earlier, a lot of us would throw them away not thinking of nothing about it because we thought the toys rent. Well, guys, this is a way to keep your collector hobby, in good repair, and you can keep those toys around for years to come.
And if you're a first timer here, just seeing our video for the very first time, we've been online selling toys online, for almost 21 years now, on and off. So you can always check us out on eBay. We have the link below. We have over 5,000 items listed, as well as Macari as well.
Right, exactly. And don't forget to smash that little bell button if you like this video and you found it helpful. Smash it so you'll get more notifications of videos like this. And don't forget to subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you would take the time, which I'd really appreciate, and I thank you in advance, give us a thumbs up. And I'd appreciate your comments, guys. You guys have a great and a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.